Hello, dear. It's Heather, and you're watching Save Today with Heather J. I am a person who has spent her entire adult life living paycheck to paycheck, being one life event away from financial crisis. And I am in the process of changing my mindset and my behaviors. I know that I have said that in the opening of every one of my videos. I haven't changed my introduction. At some point, I may change my introduction because I know for some people hearing the same thing over and over again can become monotonous. But that is where I'm at right now. And I am just 1 month into my journey. So that statement still holds very true. My behaviors haven't altered enough for me to have a new intro. I am somebody who lives paycheck to paycheck. That has not changed. And so for those of you who might be tired of hearing the same thing, I do apologize if it gets monotonous, but that's not going to change until it has changed, I think. So today I am filming my paycheck number 2 budget check-in. We're going to see how I did versus what I thought I would do. For me, my paycheck number 2 was May 5th to May 18th, which I realize is very early for what a lot of people would consider a May budget. I get paid bi-weekly, and so I get paid every other week. I don't get paid on the 1st and the 15th or the 5th and the 25th or however, some other bi-weekly options are. I am a debit budgeter. I do not use cash. I don't live in a cash environment. I don't have a cash-based income. So the only thing I use cash for is doing my laundry at the laundromat and taking my bus to and from work. And if those two things had a debit option, I would prefer to do it debit. It can be rather inconvenient to have to go find somewhere to get cash back that isn't going to charge me a fee, an out of bank fee. I would prefer to do it on debit. Additionally, I find debit easier to track. I have a tendency to lose receipts or save receipts for 2 years because they never get tossed out. And being able to just check my accounts and have an accounting for it at my fingertips at the time I'm ready to access it is what works better for me. So today, as I've said a couple of times, we're going to do my paycheck number 2 check-in, and we're going to see how what I estimated compares to what actually happened. And so let's just get into that and see where we end up. So for my income, I list my wages and other. And my wages is based on 38 hours a week at $20 an hour. And then taking out my estimated taxes. In my previous videos, I had said I was taking 30% out, but I'm actually taking 25% out. When I was trying to go figure this out as I'm looking into June's, I was like, why are my numbers not matching up? And it's not 30%, it's 25%, which is a slight overestimation for the amount of taxes and medical that comes out. So anyway, I had estimated $1,140, and I actually received $1,233.47. Let me get my handy dandy calculator. I apologize, I was not completely prepared by having that set up and ready to go. So I received $1,233.47. I had estimated I was going to get $1,140. So I am over my estimate by $93.47. That's lovely to get paid a little bit more than I had estimated. And by doing my budget, by making my estimate the way I have, I suspect I will be a little bit over each time. Most of the time I can count on at least 38, closer to 40, and my insurance and taxes is actually slightly less than 25%, but it's a weird number. I like the nice round number of 25%. So I was over budget by $93.47. I have listed another category in income just in case something shows up. I don't have a second job. I don't get child support. I don't have any kind of investments that I would be receiving periodic payments on. So this would just be if there is maybe birthday money that I'm choosing to spend within this. I don't know. It's there because it's there. It's easier to have a line that is always zero than to need a line and not have room to squish it in. So nothing for other. So my total income was $1,233.47, which was $93.47 more than I had initially thought. So then my fixed expenses that would be coming out in this paycheck were my utilities. These utilities that were paid in May were the bill I received in April, which was for utilities used in March, I believe. In any case, the bill was $148.92. I have a $20 service fee added to that. So I had estimated with a $168.92, which is what I got the money order for. But I did not count into my estimations how much that money order was going to cost me to get. And so what I ended up spending for that was $170.67. So $170.67 minus the $168.92 I had estimated. Oh, did something wrong. $170.67 minus the $168.92 I had estimated means that the price I paid for the money order was $1.75. Going forward, I now know to add that $175 into my estimates. I think I'm going to put this over on this side so I don't have to squish so much, although I don't like that, so we'll just leave it up and hopefully still be within the frame. So then I had a late fee for the rent. Again, my rent is due on the 1st. It's $850 for the rent. This late fee is not from May's rent. I paid May's rent on time because I had set up an auto pay. This is a late fee from April. And April, I had the rent on the 21st of March and didn't get to the post office in time to get the money orders. And then when I didn't go straight to the office and pay that. In any case, my own fault. I ended up with a late fee for $127.50. And just like with this utilities, I did not estimate in the cost of the actual money order. So that ended up being $129.25, which again meant I spent $1.75 more than I had estimated. The next thing that came out in this paycheck was for U-Haul. For one of my 3 storage boxes was $97.99. That is exactly what came out. There's no extra fees. They haven't raised that. There isn't any late fees associated to that. So that's exactly as it was budgeted. And then I have this credit card. I have one last credit card I am paying for. I have 2 more payments after this one for only $100 for one and $26 and change for the other. So this was $100 as I budgeted. There's no difference there. Then my phone bill, I had estimated $244.01. It actually ended up being only $236.51. So for some reason it was $7.50 less than that it had been the month previous, which is what I was basing this estimate on. Again, my first time, so I don't know. And I have referenced the fact that my son and I share the phone lines, and I wasn't sure how I was going to budget that. I'm always going to write in my estimate as the full bill, and then depending on who pays it, he pays it all, it'll be zero. I pay it all, it'll be the full amount. If we split it, then I'm only going to write the amount that I paid, which this time is what happened. I paid $116 of that, because he had paid the full amount, the $230, what did I say that was? $236.51. And then I transferred the money to him. My portion of the bill, prior to him coming, joining my family plan, was $117.15. No, $115.17. And so I've just kept that as my portion of the phone bill. And then he pays whatever the difference is. But because he paid it and I was paying him back, I just sent the $116 again to make it nice and even and round. In the transfer, some of that gets lost anyway. So that means I had estimated $244.01. I actually spent the $116 on it. So I spent $128.01 less than I had budgeted. 128.01. So that's nice that I got to keep that for myself, and as we'll see, I needed it. And then I had a subscription that I had estimated would be $10.67. That is something I signed up for in April, just before I set up my May budget. And that, what I thought was $10.67, I initially was billed at $10.69. So even writing this down, I was off by 2 cents. But then when I actually got the first bill that came through on my account, it ended up being $10.82. And I'm sure that's just a difference in taxes, but that means that was negative 15 cents. So that cost me 15 cents more than I had estimated that would be. So as we add up all of my fixed expenses, I spent $170.67 on my utilities, $129.25 on my late fee, $97.99 on my U-Haul, $100 on my credit card, $116 on my phone, and $10.82 for that subscription. So I spent $624.73. I had estimated I would spend $749.02, but I spent the $624.73, which means I came out under budget, $124.29. So I was over in my income, and I had money left for my fixed expenses. That's great. Now let's get into my flexible spending. I had estimated in my groceries for that 2-week period I was going to spend $180. I actually ended up spending $245.85, meaning I was over budget by $65.85. I have referenced several times in all of my videos that May is my first month doing a budget. I had grossly underestimated the amount of my flexible spending, and that became very apparent right away in week 1 and week 2. And as I go forward, I'm going to have to adjust all of these numbers in different areas. Everything has gotten more expensive, and because I was not tracking or paying attention and aware of what I had been spending, I didn't have a realistic number to start my budget estimates based on. So as we go into June and July and August, these estimates will get more and more realistic based on what things actually cost. And I will be finding areas where I can cut back and cutting back in those areas. But we're going to see just how grossly I underestimated this. In dining out, I had estimated $15 a week for a total of $30 for this pay period, and I actually spent $50.51 in this pay period, which is, so if I do $50.51 that I spent and I take away the $30 that I had estimated, I am over budget by $20.51. Transportation, I had estimated $20 a week for a total of $40 for the paycheck. Again, an incredibly gross underestimate. At the cost of gas right now, I have a tiny little commuter car, holds about 10 gallons. It's typically about 10 gallons when I fill it up, because I am the person who goes all the way to E. I don't fill it at halfway. I don't go in, at a set schedule to fill it. I'm just not that together. So this $40 is just one fill up, basically, at the current gas prices. So I will probably have to double or at least half again what my transportation budget is. So for this 2 weeks, I had estimated I would spend $40 in 2 weeks for transportation. I ended up spending this pay period $43.39. I only filled the gas tank up one time, and I took the bus 6 days to work within this time frame. So that's one fill up. My son, in the same time frame, put gas in the car 2 or 3 times in that same time period. So that is a gross underestimate for how much fuel costs. So I was over budget. The $43.39 minus $40 means I was over budget by $3.39. Oops, don't need the calculator for that math. In miscellaneous, this has been the largest eye-opening for me. I had estimated I would spend $10 a week, total of $20 this pay period on miscellaneous. When I set this up, I had no inkling at all as to what I was going to spend in miscellaneous, what things would fall underneath that category. It wasn't something I had ever thought of as a category. And so I was like, $10 a week, that's fine. $20, $40 a month, $20 a pay period, it's great. Well, it's not great. I spent in this 2 weeks $77.22 in miscellaneous, which the $77.22 minus the $20 I estimated means I was over budget in this 2 weeks by $57.22. Majority of what I purchased in my miscellaneous is stuff related to the sewing. This bag in particular that I've been working on in the background, I kept needing to go and get more straps, more hardware, more this, more that, interfacing. Part of that is because majority of my stuff is in these U-Haul boxes in another state. So I don't have the supplies with me that I actually own. So in order to continue working on what I do have here, I did have to go and buy some things that I didn't have, like the interfacing. But some things I don't have even there that I needed for this project. Like I needed to get some more of this strapping to do the backpack style. When I initially bought it, they didn't have as much as I estimated I need. So I just got what they had at the time. And I used all of that and I needed more. So I had to go back and get that. In any case, my crafting is a huge part of my happy space. There is a lot of things that I don't do that other people do and take for granted. I don't own a television set. I don't go out to movies. I don't go to the bars and drink. I don't socialize well, I don't think anybody socializes really in a traditional sense since COVID. But I don't drink. I can't even think of all the things that people do to go have fun. I don't go to the festivals. There's a lot of things. I don't go shopping. I don't go buy purses and shoes and pants. There's a lot of things I don't do that other people do for joy and entertainment. And I don't judge them, and I don't allow you to judge me for what choices I have made. This sewing and crafting brings peace and joy to me. And in this chaotic, upended world, peace and joy the world needs more of that. I choose this. This costs money. So I just need to adjust this budget as I go forward, because it's not always going to be this high, but there's always going to be something. There's always going to be there's always going to be. It's just the nature of a creative endeavor. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's add all this up. $245.85 in groceries, plus the $50.51 in dining out, plus the $43.39. Can I just take the one? Yes. 39 cents in transportation, plus the $77.22 in miscellaneous, means I spent $416.97. Now, I had only budgeted to spend $270, which means in my flexible spending, I am over budget by $146.97. Yikes. I knew very quickly that I had underestimated these numbers. And very clearly here I have. Can I be a little more careful in some of these categories? Yeah, probably. There will be months where there's definitely less in this miscellaneous category. I probably can do better about my dining out, but in all honesty, I'm incredibly pleased with the progress I have made. If you watched my first video, where I was setting up my initial month's budget, you may recall that in preparation for sharing this journey with you guys, I had gone back and looked at the 3 months prior and what I spent in these flexible categories. And in my groceries and dining out category, I had spent between $500 and $700 a month the 3 months prior to that. So just by being aware of what I'm doing, I spent significantly less. And each, from pre-budget to paycheck number 1, there was changes. From paycheck number 1 to paycheck number 2, there was changes. But part of this journey, and part of sharing with you, and part of being aware of what I'm doing, is finding which numbers are realistic. Yes, there are some things I could potentially shrink in here, but what I think is most important about this first month is that I need to make these numbers bigger. I need to be aware of what's realistic and adjust for that. When I can plan for what's realistic here, then I have a better chance of having extra at the end here. So that's where we're at. We're learning. And we're making another plan. So let's carry all of our numbers down and let's see where we end up at the end of this entire pay period. So I had estimated $1,140 for income, and I actually got $1,233.47, which means I got $93.47 more than I had estimated. I had estimated I would be spending in fixed income $749.02. I actually spent $624.73, which means I spent $124.29 less than I thought. That's more money in my pocket. These two are good. I had estimated I was going to spend $270 in my flexible spending, but I actually spent $416.97 in flexible spending. That means that I was over budget by $146.97. So how did I finish out the month? I spent, let's do this, $1,233.47 income minus $624.73 flexible minus $416.97 So $1233.47 income minus $624.73 fixed minus $416.97 flexible means I spent, or I have left, $191.77. Yes. All right. I received $93.47 more than I thought. I had $124.29 extra in flexible than I thought, and I spent $146.77 more. Oh, I think I ended up, yeah. So then I still had $70.99 left. Let's see, does that work out correctly? I had $191.77 left. I thought I was going to have $120.98 left. Oops. $120.98 left, which means I had $70.79. Where am I 20 cents off? Oh, somewhere my math is 20 cents off. I think I'm not going to worry about 20 cents for the purposes of this video, but I will find it for myself because my brain needs to find where that 20 cents is. I probably have some sort of mathing error I did in here. But that's okay. That's where we're at. I had done all of these numbers ahead of time last night to make that easy. And I see this number and this number doesn't match what my number on my math I did from last night is. So somewhere in here I have a couple of cents error. And that's fine. We'll figure it out. So that is where I'm at with May paycheck number 2. I did end up, even though I was so bad in all of this flexible spending, I still have $70.99 more than I thought I was going to have. So again, I'm okay with that. This was my first month. We had a lot of learning to do, and we've done it. I was able to make a lot of positive changes, and I'll keep working on those as we go forward. So that is where paycheck number 2 in May has left us. And that is it for today's video. Now, I have chosen to bring some of my own personality into this channel to keep myself interested in it in the long haul. And so I will always have a project here in the background that I'm working on. And for the month of May, this is a laundry bag I'm making out of old recycled jeans. And I just wanted to touch base on where I'm at with this. I've gotten almost everything on the outside of the bag taken care of. If you've watched some of my other videos, you may recall that I spent a lot of time reinforcing the seams on the inside, sewing them together and then ironing them open and then stitching them down so there was no raw edges. And I did that for all of those, which meant I sewed each seam at least 3 times because I did the one in the center. In any case, then I did this strapping to go around and underneath and support, and then around the sides to support, because when I've purchased these types of things from the store in the past, they're very flimsy and they fall apart, and I wanted the extra support in there to make sure that they don't fall apart. I am completely done with the outside, and now it's time to start moving to the inside. I did decide to get some interfacing. This is going to be my top band that's going to have some grommets in it. I don't know if you can see that in this camera because I can't see the camera, so I'm going to scoot that up a little bit and hopefully I'm in frame. So I've ironed some interfacing to the inside here. This is going to be sewn down on itself, and then I'm going to have grommets in here where I can have a rope to weave through and pull and make a drawstring. And I'm going to have a lining inside the bag. So even though I supported all of these seams on the inside, I'm then going to line it so that there is no seams getting caught up and hung up on my laundry, so that my laundry is not pulling it apart as I use it. And the fabric, because that's the next thing I have to work on, is the lining now. And the fabric I have is something I had in my stash. This is likely a very good quality linen that I have. And so it's actually a very fine piece of fabric to have be a lining, but it's what I had enough of that would go well in here, and I wanted something durable inside. I don't want some cheap flimsy little polyester that's going to hold the scents and fray and fall apart. So now I have to sew my lining together, basically do the whole bag again, including that circle bottom, but no reinforcements. And then I will sew the lining and to the inside. And so that is what the next step for me is. And then when I'm done with that, I have a lid. I'm going to keep calling it a lid. I'm going to have a flap that goes over the drawstring and has a little clip. So that is where I'm at in this next step. And we're almost done with May. I've probably got 2 or 3 more videos left. And we're almost done with this bag. So I should be done with that in time. If I am not done with that in time, I will continue working on this and in my own time and not bring it back onto the channel. My intention is to have one consistent thing behind each month. And when the month is over, the project is done and I'm on to the next thing. We'll see how that goes. Some of my projects may end up being shorter than my month is. And I may bring something back because I need to finish it. But that is where I'm at for today's video. I wanted to thank you for taking some time to hang out with me. For those who are here just watching to join, thank you so much. For those who are on their own journey and using my experience to inform theirs, thank you for hanging out with me. Everybody have a wonderful day. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have fun. Bye-bye now.